All right, we are back, and we've got the rest of the pumpkin. Yesterday, we did the backside. In fact, for me, it's 2 days ago, but it's all been textured, it's all pretty smooth, and it's all in pretty darn good shape, and it's nice, thick, and sturdy. So that's what I love. Some of the other pumpkins that I have been doing for this video have not been so thick because I didn't put on that shell for them. Today, we're doing the face. It is virtually the same process as doing the back of the pumpkin, except you're just going to avoid all these cutout areas. You could reasonably get a Dremel or some sort of tool. So you could cut through this all the way through, but it is a pain on a Dremel bit or a saw or an X-Acto to try to pierce through this to cut a face. So I really, really like to have only my paper layers there, so they are nice and simple and easy to cut through. But time to get the face done. Same old methods. If I need to, I'll use a spatula or something else to smooth out further. I'm going to try to make sure that where I left off last time and where I'm starting this time, just get a nice, even downward smooth cycle. So I'm making sure that this layer bleeds smoothly into the one that I did before. There really should be no huge evidence of a transition if we do it right. And as you can see, I am going around all the facial bits here. And it's fine if you go over it, because all you need to do is take a butter knife, screwdriver, whatever, and shove the clay back to where you want it. All right, so I've gone and put all of the clay on in just a huge mishmash, and I'm just going to quickly find all my edges. I'm going to find the teeth in here. And again, if you use any kind of butter knife or something, you can also just pull clay out of areas where you don't really need that much. I was very, very haphazard and fast with how quickly I just shoved clay onto this thing, which is absolutely fine. Got my face mostly formed. I'm just going to use this spatula here and a little bit of smoothing paste to go over and get a lot of this lumpiness toned down. I'm going to make sure that all my edges bleed into the old sculpt pretty seamlessly. Don't forget, in this step, you're really not looking for perfection, because just about every last bit of stuff that's really unsightly is going to get completely fixed when we smooth it down as we make our grooves. So don't go nuts trying to make things completely perfect here. Your stem section at the top, again, doesn't need to be perfect either, because the stem is going to go right on top of where all these lines are converging. So if they don't look good or they don't all converge evenly, we're going to cap it with the stem, and it will never be seen anyway. So do not fret. I am going to make sure that the bottom is pretty sturdy, because I know at some point this is going to be put down on a piece of deck, a piece of concrete, something. So I want to make sure I'm not balancing this on like a hair's edge. And later on, if you don't like how thin things are down here, then you can come back and reinforce it with a little bit more clay. But otherwise, I've got my face very, very much roughed out. It's fine. And now it's time to put the grooves in the exact same way that we did on the back. Grab your string, yarn, cord, whatever you need. And we're just going to put some guidelines in from the top of the head right on down to where the beach ball would be if it was in there. There's our guidelines in place. And as we did on the back, take your object with a point, be it a paintbrush, pencil, pen, whatever, and we're going to deepen the snot out of these major grooves. And just as we did on the back, we're going to use our paintbrush and some smoothing paste. Take the long, narrow edge, the knife edge of the paintbrush, and run it down through our major grooves here. Give them a little bit of a spread, and then we're just going to paint the edges. Blend them back down in. I'm also going to take this opportunity to paint the rest, any other ugly areas that I don't like how it looks, and give it a little smooth down as I go. All my major grooves are in place, including the one I just messed up there with my paintbrush, which will just smooth back into position. No harm, no foul, but not doing it again. And now we're going to do the minor grooves. Same way as before, grab your pen, pencil, tool. And I'm just going to put some lines wherever I feel like it.
And just like last time, we're going to give these guys a paint down.
There's our face with its grooves. Obviously, at this point, the issue that we've got is that everything that's supposed to be fine detail of a pumpkin carve on this is all kind of lumpity bumpity and in rough shape. Here is where you're just going to grab the tool of your choice, butter knife, screwdriver, whatever, and doing your best to get these bits back into the alignment that you want them with. So I'm just going to kind of paint along the edges here with this little butter knife tool. Try to turn this mouth into a bit of a flat. I'm not going to worry too very much about making this perfect. And obviously, don't forget, if you've got a spot that you don't like, God, I love that thunder, you can just hit it with a quick smooth. And it should fall right back into place. You can also start thinking at this point about any other sculpts you might want. Like I have the edge of my guy's smile here. I kind of want that to be a little bit of a crease on its own. So I'm just going to put a mark there. And here's where you can really just have some fun. Remember, it's your face on your pumpkin. Put smooth areas where you want. Put rough areas where you want. Have yourself some sculpting fun. And make your pumpkin yours. If you screw up, smooth it back in place. That's what the paste is for. Incidentally, I probably really should show an enclosure format. I'm just using the butter knife to just smooth along the edges. So I'm just moving it like I would, quite frankly, butter, to just pat those down into a flat surface rather than the rumbly bumply bit that they've got. And that's how I'm going to be handling most of the edges. So in case there's a question of how do you do this, that's all you do. Just smooth it with a butter knife, put new creases in it wherever you want, and if all else fails, brush it down. Sometimes on the teeth, you may find that at these points, they really don't want to stay too well, and it's perfectly fine just to give them a little bit of a mush down. And that will usually secure the points of the teeth in place, assuming you have pointy teeth. That's about all I really feel like doing on this guy. And there we go. A face is on. You don't have to make them complex. You don't have to make them as, mean or nasty. Make them fun. Make them whatever. It's your pumpkin. Have a good time with it. And next time, we're going to let this dry. And then we'll throw a stem on and give this face a little cutout. Good stuff.